Hey church, my name is Dante and I am the high school pastor out at our San Marcos Escondido campus. And I'm so excited to be with you for today's Daily Dose. We are in the middle of this little mini Daily Dose series that we're doing where we're examining the life of David in the Bible and just some of the challenges, some of the quote unquote giants that he faced and the different ways that he actually overcame them and was able to get past them and still be faithful to God. And we're just gonna jump straight in this morning. It's in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 28. David, at this point in his life, is just a shepherd boy. He's been anointed the future king of Israel, but he's not the king yet. And so at this point in time, the Israelites and the Philistines, they are at war with one another, and they're kind of just stuck. And the Philistines have sent their representative, this giant of a man, Goliath, to face Israel's best warrior, and yet everyone's afraid. And so David is out there, not as a soldier, but simply just bringing food to his brothers who are soldiers in the battle. And he hears about this situation and he hears that there's some sort of reward for whoever defeats Goliath. And so he's talking to the soldiers and talking to the men and trying to figure out what's going on. And his brother is actually going to say something. And it's going to be something really kind of surprising and hurtful. And here's what it says. 1 Samuel 17, verse 28. Now when Eliab, David's oldest brother, heard him speaking with the men, he burned with anger at him and asked, "Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle." Yikes. I mean, from someone that David probably thought loved and cared for him, he hears this really disheartening and discouraging statement. And in all honesty, if I'm David, that's enough for me to turn around and just go back home. And yet it doesn't lead him that way. In fact, David does not listen to the opinions of someone else. He doesn't listen to the opinion of his brother, but rather is still listening to the opinion of who God says he is. And he continues to remain faithful to the call that God has on his life. You know, one of the best ways that anyone can defeat an opponent is by simply knowing how that opponent plays the game. It's this reason why professional athletes, despite how strong, big, fast they are, they spend hours and hours studying film upon an opponent, on how they are going to plan to trick and play against them so that they can defeat them. And here's the reality. You and I, we have an enemy. We have an opponent, and that enemy, Satan, has very specific strategies and tricks and ways that he plays this game of life against us to pull us from God. And one of those ways that he uses, one of those tricks that he uses, is to speak lies about us. And sometimes, here's what he'll do. He'll speak lies about us through others. And I get it. I've been in the same boat from personal experience. It is so easy to fixate and to think upon what others have to say about us. And yet, I kind of want to bring to light three things that happen when you and I focus on the opinions of others. It's three things that disconnect us and discredit God in our lives. And here's what they are. They are pride, they are shame, they are fear. When you and I focus on the opinions and thoughts of others over the opinions and thoughts of God, it leads to pride, shame, and fear. Pride in thinking, I'm better than everyone. Shame in the antithesis of that, thinking I'm worse than everyone. And fear, maybe the worst of all, in thinking I don't even know who I am at all. And yet here's the beauty in trusting in the identity and the purpose that God has for us. Proverbs 29, verse 25 says this, "Fear of man will prove to be a snare or a trap, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe." See, focusing on what others say about us will lead to pride, shame, and fear. But when we focus on what God has to say about us, it leads to the sense of security and safety and knowing my true identity and my true purpose. So here's my challenge. Here's my encouragement to you. Despite what the people around you may say or may think about you, whether to your face or to someone else, may you lean into the reality and the truth of your Creator, of your Father, who deeply loves you, who has made you, who knows you, who is calling you to his will, to obedience to his word. And when we do that, it's going to lead to life and to love. Hopefully that encourages you. Hopefully that challenges you. And we'll see you next time.